Hello, my name is Roshan and thank you for joining us on In 20. If you're watching us on YouTube, do
that back foot and protect and pass the ball very, very simple. Brilliant. If you put leg.
If you're watching us on the Rocket Bros on Facebook, thank you very much. And if you're watching us on YouTube, do hit the subscribe button. Then you can hear Danny and I confess a love for each other, which started back in 2014. It was the World Cup in Brazil. That's the first time I met Danny. And since then, my love for Jürgen Klopp has changed. It's two different people, Danny, because you are Danny Mills. And then there's Jürgen Klopp, who was the manager of Dortmund back then, who was all about smiles, love, and affection. And then all of a sudden, it is completely gone when he's joined Liverpool. Like similar how you are adjusting everything, because this is all live. I love you, Danny. What has happened to Jürgen Klopp? Did the British media, such as yourself, people such as yourself, use his honesty to his own detriment at the start when he joined Liverpool?
I hope you can hear me, Roshan.
I can hear you. Can you hear me again?
I can now. I couldn't there. I had no idea what you said. Suddenly we went live. It all went fuzzy, but now it seems clear, hopefully.
Again?
Fingers crossed. Yep. I unplugged the headphones. It was still... Oh, you were talking like a Dalek. I have no idea what you're talking about. So go for it. Repeat
I'm going to send you a dead turkey for Christmas, even though Thanksgiving is past. But for those of you who just joined us, rewind and play again. Yeah. Our love story, Danny Mills, started in 2014. It was the World Cup in Brazil. That's when I first met you. Jürgen Klopp, since then, has changed his style when it comes to dealing with the media. When he was with Dortmund, he had a lovely smile. Now at Liverpool, he just wants to chop someone's head off at every press conference, be it a post-match or pre-match or any match for that fact. Is it down to the fact that people such as yourself used him when he first joined Liverpool and used his comments against his own detriment?
No, I don't think it is. I think he's a little bit frustrated at the moment. You know, results haven't quite gone his way. Obviously, Liverpool have picked up a few injuries. Liverpool are trying to use Manchester City, Manchester United. They're trying to use their power to get, obviously, there was obviously, project, big picture and all that sort of stuff that was possibly going to happen where they took maximum control of everything. That didn't happen. So now you're at the point of, I think they're getting a little bit frustrated that they haven't got 5 subs, because undoubtedly it favours the bigger squads, with the strongest squads. So no wonder
Liverpool has a small squad?
No, it favours, it favours the bigger squads, doesn't it? So those lesser squads with smaller squads are not going to vote for it. It's not in their favour. So they're going to say, no, why should we, the teams with the most money, the teams with the biggest squads, why should we help them out? Why should Brighton, why should Sheffield United, why should they help out Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City? It's not in their interests. And I just think at the moment, Jürgen Klopp, I understand it to a point, but you have to look at it, 1 week, you can't have it always. You can't have all the money and get paid the most money and have the best players and the deepest squads and the most commercial revenue, everything else. I've always said, look, the season starts on the same day for everybody. It finishes on the same day for everybody. Therefore, some weeks you're going to play Saturday, Tuesday. Some weeks you're going to play Saturday, Wednesday. Some it'll be... So it works itself out. So there'll be weeks where you play on a Wednesday, you play on a Saturday. Then you play on a Wednesday, then you play on a Sunday. You might play on a Sunday, you might play on a Tuesday, depending on, Champions League. So across the course of the season, it's going to be the same. You play the same amount of games in the same space of time. Is that not right? So
that's fair enough, yeah.
So
how many games did during your season at Leeds, that season at Leeds, how many games did you play in a season and how often was it?
I think the most games that I played, it was nearing 70 games that I played in the most sort of, and that because that would have been internationals, cup competitions. So so we played 38 games in the league. We then played another 17 in the Champions League. We would have then played FA Cup. We would have played League Cup. And also we would have played in internationals.
Yeah.
So, you work that out. That's a lot of games. to get
And
through.
would you agree that the modern day footballer is far more fitter? And Jurgen Klopp said this as well, is far more fitter than to players, say, compared to during your playing days.
Yeah, I don't think they are as robust as what they used to be. No, in the simple fact that they won't play with injuries anymore. You know, they get a niggle. I need a week off. I'm not playing. You know, we used to have, you know, I'm not saying it was right, but it was, you know, you have an injection, get through it. You know, maybe you're not 100% right, but you would get through the game. You would keep playing. You would play through injuries. You would play through pain and all those types of things. So I think, you know, there's a little bit of that as well. The argument is we want the best players to be at their very, very best, so we get the best product. But that's not life. You know, nobody is ever 100%. You know, we've seen in boxing, you know, Anthony Joshua isn't always 100% going into the ring. He has to deal with it. That's what makes the best, because they find different ways to deal with things. Tyson Fury, the same.
I'm sorry, Danny, I'm going to disagree with you that Tyson Fury is the best. Anthony Joshua needs to fight him in order for him to be the best.
But what I'm saying is they go into the ring sometimes and they might not be feeling great. They might have had an issue during that week. You know, they're not 100%. They don't call the fight off. They find a way to get through it, is what they're doing, because they know that they can't call the fight off because of that payday. It's exactly similar to football. Should be exactly the same.
That's what Khabib did in his last fight in the UFC. But I mean, okay, fine. We're digressing. But are you finding it weird that all of a sudden Jurgen Klopp, who was the Mr. Nice Guy, is going after the likes of Chris Wilder, who is Mr. Nice Guy, and going after him with regards to his tactics? Because somebody has to replay the journey he went through with Mainz, Dortmund v Bayern. And when he first came over to Liverpool, and that squad he had to take on so many other clubs with better squads, he did the best he could. So could somebody remind Jurgen Klopp that, you know what, Chris Wilder is doing the best he can, and stop picking on him?
I think it's pressure, isn't it? It is what it is. You know, even when you're at a club like Liverpool, where you've been unbelievably successful, you've won the Champions League, you've won the Premier League for the first time in 30 years. The expectations to continue that are absolutely huge. And if you start to fall away from that, pressure comes on. We've seen it with Pep Guardiola. I think that Liverpool's biggest problem is they've been at the very, very top for about 3 years now in terms of their performances, you know, and the levels. It's very difficult to maintain that. I don't care who you are. To be, you know, to continuously be at the very, very best and push yourself every day for 3 years is incredibly difficult. At some point, something has to break. Now, you can blame COVID. You can blame something else. But this is why no team, apart from Manchester United, has only ever won the Premier League 3 times in a row, because it's incredibly difficult to do.
Okay, that's fair enough. So, like, go back to, once again, I'll just bring it up, your heyday with Leeds and England and, you know, things like that. If you're in that Liverpool dressing room and all of a sudden your manager is coming out like this, did you ever have a moment during your playing days with your manager when you were at Leeds that he might have said something that either worked for you or worked against you?
There was plenty of times where it worked against us. That is for sure. On more than one occasion.
Give us an example, Danny.
Oh, there was loads of times. Absolutely loads. I mean, O'Leary slaughtered me, did a double-page spread of the tabloids just before the World Cup. So, you know, if I ever had a season like that again, you know, disciplinary-wise, I'd never play for the football club again. I think he got sacked fairly soon after that. Didn't work out too well for him. And bizarrely, I went on and had quite a good World Cup and picked up just the one booking in those 5 games. But no, it's, you know, sometimes managers will try and defend their players. And Sir Alex Ferguson used to do it. Mourinho does it. You know, what they say in the press as to what they say in the dressing room are sometimes completely different. So, you know, and you have to be on board with it. You know, you have to understand that. But I just think Jurgen Klopp at the moment, a bit, you know, like Guardiola was at the back end of last season, got a little bit spiky, didn't like some of the questioning because tactics start to be questioned, decision-making start to get questioned, you know, and they have ultimate belief in that. And I think it's just frustration as much as anything else. They get very, very frustrated that, you know, things aren't going their way.
All right, Atalanta in the Champions League, then their result in the Premier League, and now they've got Ajax as well coming up soon in the Champions League again. Can they find a way out? And more importantly, isn't he doing something fantastic with 7 first-team players out?
He's doing very well, but I think, but they have a very, very strong squad. You know, you look at their midfield. James Milner is a squad player. What a squad player to have he is. You know, okay, he's picked up a little injury now. But you look at their midfield. You've got Diogo Jota can play in there, who is on fire at the moment. Obviously, Thiago they've brought in, Jordan Henderson, Oxlade-Chamberlain when he comes back from injury, Georgie Wijnaldum in there as well, Fabinho, Keita. Hang on, that's 8 or 9 players for 3 positions. And they're all internationals.
Exactly.
Right? That's a very, very strong squad. So you can't really moan that you've got fixture congestion. Okay, you picked it up injuries. Well, why are you picking up injuries? You can't say James Milner's been overplayed. He's the fittest man on the planet, bar none. You know, he is Iron Man.
An absolute party animal.
Well, yeah, you're talking James Milner's great night out is 2 glasses of Ribena. That's pushing the boat out, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's how, so James Milner picking up a niggling injury, that's not due to overplaying. That's not due to fixture congestion. It's just unlucky. And sometimes it happens in football.
So what's happening in football is unexplainable when it comes to Liverpool, just down to their sheer number of injuries they're facing. It's the same thing, not with injuries, just the unexplainable part when it comes to Manchester United. It's that Katy Perry song, if you remember, right? Because I know you're a massive fan. You're hot and cold.
All right, I was thinking you kissed a girl. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, where are you going with this?
I kissed a girl. I got married, similar to you, and you've got 3 strapping young men. I've got 2 lovely ladies, 3 lovely ladies, 2 daughters, and 1 wife. But let's go back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United. I mean, okay, when you saw the first half, you're like, again? And then when you saw Edison Cavani come in and make that change, is it a classic example of experience over youth? Cavani is a far better buy than perhaps Sancho. I know it's hard to predict what Sancho would have had.
I'm sure if you go back to the early ones of the in-20s, when I said Cavani would be a hit. I think he's a good signing.
Yes, you did.
He's, first and foremost, he's got quality. Secondly, he's hardworking. That's enough.
And he's tough.
Well, he's got quality and he's hardworking. You don't need much more than that.
He's Uruguayan, bro.
They are the basics of being successful at anything. And, his goal scoring record is superb. He's in the team. It's reliability. It's like Aguero, isn't it? Would you take a 90% Aguero over 100% Jesus? Yes, you would. And it's the same for Cavani. You take a 90% Cavani over Martial up front, without a doubt. But Manchester United can't keep having performances like this. Again, they've got away with it yet again. This is a bit like Brighton, where they got battered in the first half. They came from behind. Performances like this, you cannot keep winning 3-2. You cannot keep going 2-0 down and expect to come back in the second half, because sooner or later, that's not going to work. And at the moment, Ollie just seems to be getting away with it, I would say.
Have you noticed something, Danny? Because I know you do a lot of commentary work. The word poacher is completely gone out of the game, because I barely hear any commentator use it. But those 2 Cavani headers was that typical old school poacher's goals where he was in between defenders or completely lost his marker and he was there at the right time, at the right place with his head.
He's a goal scorer. As simple as that. That's
in the box.
Well, no, but it's what he does. When you look at players that do that, Glenn Murray, remember? Yeah, Glenn Murray. He's a goal scorer. He's not going to do an awful lot of work outside the 18-yard box. But if you give him chances in the 18-yard box, he scores goals. As simple as that. There are certain strikers that don't score a lot of goals, from distance, from outside the box. Aguero doesn't score too many of them. Most of Aguero's goals are inside the 18-yard box. And that's what they do. They put themselves in the right place at the right time. And that's experience, that's guile, that's everything. And that's why they've been so good for so long. And, Cavani is, I still think, Cavani is an exceptional striker.
Tell us, Danny, after you watched Tellus play for Manchester United, thank you very much. That was quite cool. Is that the end for Luke Shaw?
You'd have to think so. I mean, there are talks of Brandon Williams maybe going out on loan, maybe getting a loan move or leaving in the January transfer window to get some football. But even still, that leaves Luke Shaw as second behind Tellez, doesn't it? it's never really quite happened for Luke Shaw at Manchester United for whatever reason. You know, he's had some good games, some indifferent games, and lots of injuries. Maybe, you know, it's time for a change for Luke Shaw. He's not a bad player, but Telles has come in and he looks like, you know, he's going to be the number one left back.
He looks so sharp.
Well, but I think, you know, he's new. You know, he's young, he's hungry.
He's trying to prove a point, yeah.
Of course, and he's fit. You know, has Luke Shaw ever had a run of games where you go, he's fit? He's never. I can't remember the last time he played 5 games in a row. You know, it just doesn't seem to happen for him. You know, something's not quite right, and sometimes that could just be as much as, you know, you just need some different scenery. You know, just get out there, do something different, be in a different place, and it all falls together.
Okay, we're running out of time, so we'll have one more topic to talk about, and that was Arsenal. And our headlines for today's show was, and I think I came up with this, Arsenal, or rather Arteta taking it up the Arsenal. Is that myth of him being this? I know you defended him early on, but is this myth of him being this game changer?
I don't think I did. I've said many times. You know, everyone was going, "Oh, Arsenal are so much better under Arteta." Are they? They weren't last season. They were mildly better. They were a little bit more organised.
So you're trying to say they were bred of fresh Arsenal?
If you want to say that, that's entirely up to you.
No, I mean, listen, this is okay. We're not on TV. We can say what we want to say because it's boring at times to stay up at 3 p.m. and watch a game.
He wasn't revolutionary, was he? He didn't look at Arsenal and go, "Oh my goodness, they are such a different team now." You know, they've gone from Peterborough to Barcelona. You know, in an instant. I mean, they were maybe 5 or 10% more organised, but results weren't any better. You know, people say, "Why they won an FA Cup?" Yeah, but they'd won that previously under other managers playing in the same sort of way. Again, it's this myth about, oh, they're playing better football, but the results aren't any better. And this is the issue that you have. Oh, his coaching's good, but the results aren't any better. We have league tables for a reason. You know, we have 3 points for a win for a reason, because the whole point of football is about winning, not about how you play.
Okay, let me be more realistic. Now, forget about Liverpool, forget about Manchester City, forget about the investment at Chelsea, and let's not take Tottenham into consideration, because it's always going to be an anomaly when it comes to Jose Mourinho and whatever team he coaches. But I think it's a very fair statement if you put this Arsenal squad against this United squad, because they're almost similar to a certain extent. But if you take talent for talent, the players, which squad is better for you personally?
I would say the Manchester United squad is just a little bit better. Oh. Just a little bit better in that.
Wow.
Not by a great deal. I think their midfield is possibly better. Although, you know, we haven't seen enough of Alex Partey. You know, of course, he's a big miss. I think United just about shade it, but there's not a lot in it. And that's probably why, you know, both teams are going to struggle to finish in the top 6, you know, as it stands at the moment, because, you know, they're not doing particularly well. Arsenal, can they break into the top 6 with all the other teams that are doing, you know, well at the moment? It's going to be tough for them, I think. You know, Manchester United, when you look at it, you know, if you think it's going to be Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham, you know, and then who? You know, somebody, Southampton might suddenly, you know, Everton could go back up there. Wolves are doing very, very well. You know, there's teams that are going to challenge and going to make it very, very difficult for the likes of Manchester United and Arsenal.
All right, Mr. Danny Mills, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much. We got 2 more minutes, but, you know, we're done with our talking bits. It's been a pleasure. I will see you next week. Are you going to be out and about next week, or is this whole COVID thing got you locked down in the house again?
Where are we next week?
I'm not talking about shopping, but, you know, over the weekend.
No, I'm trying to think where I'm next weekend. I might well be somewhere. I'll have to check. It's all fluid at the moment. It's a little bit like, you know, a front flea. We just travel. We just move around and just see what happens. You just sort of, you throw it out there and it changes. It's changing all the time.
Thank you for describing it that way, Danny. It's been a pleasure. I'll talk to you, my friend, next week. Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram account for all the talking points. And remember, subscribe on our YouTube channel. And if you're watching us on the Facebook channel for the Rakyat Post, thank you very much. Till the next time.